See you, Kels.
Eriq, congratulations on the 2 goals. If we can start on the good stuff. I got told the stat that the last time you scored a goal was 6 years ago, Kevin?
Correct.
Okay, 6 years ago.
MLS goal.
MLS goal, sorry. When was the last time you scored 2 goals in the same game?
Gosh, you're aging me. It's been since college for sure. I felt like I've had many chances to do so, but it felt nice to get 2 tonight.
Yeah, Greg said he also thought it was probably in college for you whenever
He's
it came
right.
around, whenever you were playing forward. Obviously you guys get put in a hole again, giving up the first goal. You guys are able to fight back and actually be winning 3-2 at the halftime. I mean, what has to change for this team to get the wins? Because the draws aren't going to get you into the playoffs.
You're right. We've got some errors that we need to clean up, both with the ball and without the ball. I think sometimes we put ourselves into bad situations with the ball and give ourselves difficult situations to deal with. I think more difficult than people realize. Players and teams in this league are waiting for those moments and are very good to punish you in those moments. And I think the first 2 goals were emblematic of that. So, A, we got to clean that up, and B, we've got to be a bit stingier in the box to defend some of these plays out. We understand that you can't win games if you have to score 3 goals every time. And we also understand that draws aren't going to get us where we want to be at this point. So the boys are disappointed. Despite the 2 goals, I'm also disappointed. But we believe we can clean these things up and see what we have to do by the end of the year.
Greg called the back line patchwork, and he says he doesn't want to use excuses, but bottom line is that you guys have remade that back line several times this year. Do you guys feel comfortable back there, or is it about just trying to survive these last games?
Yeah, I mean, sure. It's my first game playing with that back 4 group. Everyone's first game playing together, specifically with the 4 of us. I think back line, I think defending cohesion has a lot to do with it. But I don't feel uncomfortable. I feel very comfortable on the field. I feel very comfortable with Maya. And I have a good young player next to me in Madi who's growing into himself every day and is only getting better and just needs the games to continue to get better. So patchwork, if you will. I think this fan base should be proud and respect the fact that they still have some players here who we've gone through, I think, 5, 6 center backs, and you still have guys out there who can do the job and who are giving everything they can to do the job. And so it's not easy to do it, but this is not a group that likes to make excuses, and we won't be doing that tonight.
Hey, Eriq. Thank you for your time. For this back line and the conceding of goals, is this a tactical issue or maybe just an emotional issue, kind of just looking at these last couple of games here?
Yeah, let me start by saying this is not a back line issue. If you're watching these games, again, if you turn balls over in front of the back line, you can't just point to the back line and say, hey, this is your problem. It's not right, it's not fair, it's not football. And so this is a full 11 issue. And this is something we talk about before the game, we talk about after the game. 11 guys attack, 11 guys defend. I'm a defender. I scored 2 goals tonight. Does that mean our attack was on fire tonight? Maybe not necessarily. But again, we need to do a better job of defending plays higher up the field so the balls don't get into our box and we don't have so many plays to deal with. But we also need to do a better job of cleaning the plays up in the back. And so, yeah, can we be better as a back 4, as a back 5 with the goalie? Yeah, but we need to be better as an 11 if we have any chance to do what we want to do this year.
Hi, Eriq. I want to get your thoughts on the play in the box when Mosqueda was holding you. Referee calls you guys over, talks to you seemingly about that issue, and then he's holding you throughout the whole thing. In your mind, and as a defender who you know what it's like in those boxes better than we do, is that a penalty kick?
You know, it's a really good question. This one was one that I thought he might give, and I was a little bit surprised he didn't because he did warn him twice. And if you get pulled over and you give a warning and then you give another warning, probably the 3rd time you're probably going to get a ticket. And in this situation, he just continued to give warning after warning and give nothing, and nothing changed. So I'm surprised, yes. I tried to make it as obvious as possible that that's what was happening. I think coming into the second half, I knew they'd probably change the way they defended me, and that's what they decided to do. And wrapping your arms around a player doesn't really allow him the freedom of movement, and that's sort of a staple of MLS. If you watch games, it happens more often than you think. So it's a difficult situation for the referees to have to decide when they call it and when they don't. Depends on where the ball is and where it lands and how close the player is to be able to score the goal. But look, I think I understand why they made those decisions and how they defended me in that moment, but I think you need to have a little bit more freedom of movement to be able to win the ball as the attacking player, and in that moment I didn't have enough.
In hindsight, do you feel like if you had gone down, you would have gotten the penalty?
Yeah, it's a good question. I thought about that after the fact as well. I'm not one to cheat the game, and he didn't actually push me in any situation for me to go down, and so sure, can I go down and try to force him into a call? Maybe, but he's holding me, and he's holding me up versus pushing me down, and so maybe I can go down, but again, I'm not one to cheat the game, and I thought it was pretty obvious as it was.
When you're breaking out from him at that time,
Yeah.
at that point, if you'd gone down, it would have.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very possible. I'd have to take a look at it again. Again, I try to make it as obvious as possible. Like for me, I can't move at the moment. So if you're not going to make the call now, I'm not sure if you're going to make the call then, but it is what it is.
Hey, Eriq, congratulations on your 2 goals. After Hugo Perez's departure from La Selecta, have you spoken to Ruben de la Barrera? Would you still like to wear your country shirt and represent La Selecta?
Yeah, I've got a lot to think about when it comes to that. I've not spoken to Ruben. I know he's called some players. He has not called me. Take that for what you will. I've spoken to the sporting director very briefly, Diego Goma. We've had a conversation. I told him I have a lot to think about. I had a baby 2 weeks ago.
Congrats.
Thank you. The thought of leaving him for 5 days next week hurts. So the concept of leaving him for weeks on end for the next 2 years, year, whatever it may be, is not easy. And so that's something that me, my family have to decide if it's best for me. But it was a great run with Hugo. I got all the respect in the world for him, for the fans of El Salvador, and we'll make the decision that's best for me and my family.
Thank you.
Thank you.